All right, welcome everybody to 14 Tactics to Grow a SaaS Startup from 0 to 7 figures. Uh, sometimes people come here and they say, "Hey, I don't have a budget. I don't have a marketing budget. I don't have any money. I just built my SaaS. How can I begin to, you know, get customers, get clients, with my limited budget?" And sometimes they say, "Hey, I don't even have a budget. Actually, I spent all my money on development." I just talked to somebody last week. They were like, "Yeah, I spent over $50,000 on developing this product, but now I don't even have a marketing budget whatsoever. What should I do?" And I was like, "Well, there's a lot of things you can do actually without a budget, as long as you're not scared to go out there and knock on some doors." And this webinar is actually all about knocking on those doors. And, welcome to everybody here. My name is Diakri, and I'm the co-founder and VP of marketing here at DFY SaaS. And DFY SaaS is basically a done-for-you SaaS agency where we help founders with building, launching, and scaling their applications. So we take anybody from their idea all the way to, if they want to anyways, to talking to investors and getting all those equity investments and everything. So I'm very, very excited for this webinar because this is my favorite domain. Was it last month? We did another webinar where we talked about how the steps of creating a whole SaaS, from zero to all the way to launching and scaling. But now we're actually going to focus straight on the scaling part, and this is basically in the launch phase. You basically have your product, you've built it, and now you're like, okay, I'm ready for the market. And most people are actually get stuck here. And this is what you will learn today. You will learn, a few tactics, a few things to take away. And if you have a pen and paper, please write this down. And I would like you to go ahead and write as much as possible, because this is going to be a very, very powerful webinar. And this webinar is not necessarily for just people who have software to promote. Even people who don't have software to promote can actually use these tactics to go help their friends to promote their SaaS agency or SaaS software or startup or whatever you have here. So here we go. All right, let's get started. So a word of warning here. Before you can go out into the market, before you can start, doing anything, this is actually one of the biggest things that I've seen that stops founders in their tracks, is that they are focusing on the wrong problem. And not just that, but they're also focusing on the wrong niche, right? And that's going to determine, how successful you can be with your startup. So you have to focus on the right problem. You have to focus on the right niche. And when these two things combine, you are most likely guaranteed success, depending on how much effort you put in. So the requirement here is you have to have a problem and a solution for the right people. For example, you cannot be solving a problem for the radio, because the radio as we know it is being replaced by podcasts nowadays. So you have to come up with a better solution or a better niche in that case. And when people say, you have to solve a problem, these are the three things you should be thinking about. Are you saving somebody money? Are you saving them time? Or are you helping them to make more money? Right? Those three things are huge when it comes to solving problems. There's actually a fourth one, which I'm not going to put in here because the fourth one is a bit of, not really usually where people usually focus the most. And the fourth one is entertainment. That's not really a problem you're solving. That becomes a vitamin, so things like TikTok and Facebook, we don't really need them. These are just entertaining, but again, they do help some people to save money. They do help some people to save time. They do help some people to make money at the same time. Because for TikTok, business is really good for TikTok. If you have a business, you go on TikTok, you have potential. But then again, it all depends on your strategy. And these are the requirements that you really have to think about. You have to be in the right niche and you have to be solving the right problem. If you are not doing both of those things, you are basically wasting your time. So that's just a warning there that I'm going to give to people. And the next thing too that you have to remember is that this is a marathon, not a sprint. Some people are like, hey, I'm just going to build this calendar application, and then by next month, I should have lots of people using it because they need it, right? I've done the research, I've done this, and a lot of people are going to come in and they're going to buy it and they're going to subscribe, and it's going to be nice and dandy. But you forget that marathons, can go on for hours and hours and hours. And it's the same thing for startups. They can go on for years and years and years without seeing any success until one day the COVID hits, boom, and Shopify is the #1 application for e-commerce, right? As you can remember, everybody jumped on Shopify during COVID, right? So you have to be patient, and humility goes a long, long way. But what most people usually tend to do is they build an application, they go out there, they hustle for 2-3 months, and then after that, they say, oh, this thing is not working. Let me close shop, right? But you never know. Somebody could have bought your app. Somebody could have, you could have bumped into an influencer who could have blew up your application. So the key here is to never give up and always keep on striding like a marathon runner, right? Okay, so before we get started with the 14 tactics to grow your startup, I'm just going to mention that in the end, we are going to give you a bonus. And if you do want the bonus, you have to stay till the end. And it's going to be a surprise. All right, let's get into it. All right, so the first thing to do when you have gotten your application up and running is to get your family and friends to actually support you. I'm not sure how many of you have had friends who joined MLMs, multi-level marketing companies. But I did join a few of those actually. And the first thing they do to you once you join the MLM is they ask you, hey, do you have 15 friends who you think will benefit from this company? And they make you sit down and write 15 names of people that your friends, and then they go and market to those people, or they take you to market to those people. And it's a really good tactic because Amway, Primerica, all these things, they are actually exploding. They're really good businesses. They're exploding because guess what? Somebody comes in and then they write down 15 names of their friends and families, and then they go ahead and they market to those people again, and so on and so forth. So when creating your application and your startup, you have to make sure that you have people who can support you. So you can get your friends and family members to stop blasting you. You can get them to, hey, maybe even invest in your company if they can. I know another client of ours, they went and raised $60,000 to build an application just from their friends and family members. And that was huge, huge for them. So don't underestimate the power that you have with your friends and families. The other thing that really works really well, I'm not sure if you've seen this on Instagram, but people like to do giveaways. And giveaways are usually something like you collaborate with 5 or 10 other companies in the same area or a different area, and you say, hey, why don't we give away a MacBook Pro, for example, if we get this many followers? And once they get those many followers, it's going to be actually beneficial for everybody in that giveaway to be part of it, because they are going to get followers, they are going to get people commenting and talking about them, and it's going to be really, really awesome for everybody involved in that giveaway. So you can give away actual tangible things, but if you don't really have money, you can give away some sort of value, some sort of ebook, some sort of tactic, some sort of cheat sheet that you can give away to people so that they can come and support you at the same time. So think about strategies that you can use when it comes to giveaways, especially for your startup. What kind of things can you do to give away some value, not all of it, to get people into your startup? I do know that some startups, how they do it is that they will do like a 7-day free trial or 14-day free trial just to get people used to the application so that they can do demos and show them around. And that actually works really well. And then I'll talk about that a little bit more later on. Partnerships, right? Partnerships goes together with giveaways. So find people in the community who can help you. So if you start an application, for example, if you write an application and you say, hey, this application is going to help seniors to be able to take their medication on time and things like that, why not find some doctors, some pharmacies who can then support your application, and they can, freely market it to you, right? Does this make sense? Does anybody have any questions so far? If you have any questions, you can put in the chat, or you can unmute yourself, because I would like to keep this interactive. All right, got thumbs up there. That's awesome. Yeah, put in the chat if you have any questions, because I would like to see what you think about this. Let me know if I'm not crazy or not. Okay. Partnerships are very, very powerful when done right, because what happens is that if you partner with another company that has a lot of followers, a lot of clients, you can get on their email list. We'll talk about email list later on too as well. And they can actually sponsor you, blast you everywhere, and you become basically part of their marketing ecosystem. And that's for you, you don't pay anything, but you gain a lot more by being in that partnership. So something to think about. If you have ideas, please write them down so that you don't forget about that. Partnerships are very, very good. And I'm going to tell you guys a story, because I found this one very, very fascinating. So I met a guy called Jordan, and you can actually find him on LinkedIn and everywhere. And for him, he had a marketing agency, and the marketing agency had staff members all over the world. And what was happening is that they could not have meetings on a regular schedule because people were in different time zones and they did not, somebody will be up at 4 a.m., another person will be going to bed, right? So it became very, very tedious. And they said, well, how can we solve this? How can we solve this problem? And you can actually look up this company. They've now raised over $7.5 million in the last 3 years from an idea that they were solving their own problem. So the idea was, hey, instead of slacking people and instead of forcing people to be on Zoom, why don't we just send them voice messages, right? And the voice message, they can listen to it whenever they want. They can reply to it whenever they want. And what happened is that they put that idea, before they even built anything, they put that idea into Product Hunt had a competition, and Product Hunt had, I think it's Kitty Awards or something like that. And they actually won. They actually won the Kitty Awards multiple times, and they were like, guys, we're onto something. We have to build something here now. So they actually built Yak. It's called Yak, and they actually were like, hey, why don't we now make a wait list, and people can come in, buy, not even buy, but wait for a product to be perfected, and we can keep people coming through. And that's exactly what they did. If you go to their website, it's still a wait list, but these guys have raised $7 million and counted. All that from a competition. It was just an idea like, hey, let's just try it. Let's see what happens. And it's become very, very successful. So the point of the idea here is, if you see any competitions or anything like that, submit your ideas. You never know what could happen, because from there, people will then come to know you, to trust you, and they'll be like, hey, this person has been around. They know what they're doing. Let's go give them more money, right? Incubators and accelerators. This is also really a good idea when you have a product. I would not recommend going to incubators and accelerators if you don't have an idea, because they'll force feed you their own ideas and you won't come up with anything. But again, it all depends on where you are. It depends on which incubator and accelerator you join. But what they usually do with the incubators and accelerators, they will come and they refine your idea, and then they will introduce you to investors. Those connections that you gain from those incubators and accelerators are huge, 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 huge. Because once you are in that network of people who are also fundraising money, who are also building things, you can then start to bounce off ideas of each other and say, hey, how are you doing this? Hey, how are you doing your pitch deck? How are you doing this? All right. And that's usually a good idea to join. So build a product, join an incubator, get connected with the network, and then from there, the sky's the limit. Usually incubators and accelerators usually want you to be around. They do through like courses like Y Combinator goes, I think it's like every year they do twice, 2 cohorts. So you have to be careful there. And then you might have to go to New York or something like that, depending on the situation, but highly recommend that you do that as well. The other tactics that you can try and do is SEO. I know some people really think, oh, SEO takes such a long time, but when SEO works, it works. If I say the name Neil Patel, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know Neil Patel. He's the SEO guru guy, because he's been doing SEO for such a long time that he gets so much, anytime he builds anything, he gets so much traffic to that because he knows his way around the SEO. So I would recommend that you highly maybe teach yourself on how to do SEO, or get other people to help you with the SEO. And in this case, I know you said it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So within 3 months or 6 months, your SEO will start turning around, and I would say, you will start seeing some results. But again, you don't want to just do SEO by itself, right? You want to combine SEO with other tactics as well. So other tactics that you can try would be PR, for example, public relations. I know there's a website out there, and if you are desperate, I can probably show it to you. But there's a website out there that connects journalists to business owners, and these journalists ask questions. Hey, can you talk about this? Hey, can you talk about that? If you go on that website and you register, you will get emails on a daily basis of journalists who are looking for people to comment on a certain situation that's happening, or comment on a trend, all kinds of topics, all kinds of journalists on there. And if you start getting published, and and people start seeing this, it's going to be not just good for SEO, but it's going to prove that you are an authority figure in whatever you're talking about. And I would highly recommend that you do that, because in that case, you will get known in the industry. Caleb, I will have to look that up for you. I don't remember the exact website address, but I will have to look that up for you. It's very, very powerful. And it's, I used to be subscribed to it, actually. I'll check my junk folder. They send you so many emails, but I'll check my junk folder, and then I'll let you know. Maybe let's connect after, or send me an email after the webinar, and then we can talk about that. Waitlist, I talked about this early on, but waitlists are very, very powerful. You know why they're very powerful? Is because they show that you are sort of successful, but not really. And what happens here is that people want to sign up on your startup, and they can't, because you say, hey, we haven't launched yet, you should join our wait list. And this is going to just basically going to build up that FOMO, fear of missing out. And once you have a wait list for your product, it becomes very easy for you to say, hey, I haven't launched yet, but if you want to join my wait list, go for it. And then once they join the wait list, you can then start spamming them and doing whatever, right? Pre-sale. So the wait list goes together with the pre-selling. And what you want to do here is basically, before you even start, before you even launch your product, you can then say, hey guys, I have this product. It's going to fix the issue where seniors can't take their medication on time. But for you as a family, I would like you to get this product before I launch it at a very, very cheap rate. And let's say you say, hey, it's only $99 a month, but once this is launched, it's going to be $500 a month. This is just an example, right? Just an example. To those families who come in early, you will get all these bonuses, all these things, and actually you will then be able to raise enough funds for you to go and then do some serious marketing activities. I highly recommend this. And AppSumo is actually vicious for this. You can check it out, appsumo.com. There's all kinds of software that are not exactly ready, but they are ready enough that people are buying lifetime value for this. And once you buy the lifetime value, you're basically supporting that entrepreneur to go and build more features, to go and do some more marketing. And it's really, really powerful. Really highly recommend you sign up on AppSumo as soon as you have your application or MVP. And with that being said, any questions so far? Are we getting there? All right. So with newsletters, this is the other thing that I would highly recommend is go out there, find people who are in the same industry or vertical industry and get on their newsletters. Product Hunt this all the time. All kinds of tech news blogs do this all the time. AngelList does this all the time. You can actually go and you don't even have to sponsor anything. You just have to say, hey, I just launched this thing. It's really cool. People are loving it. I would love to be in your newsletter. And that will help you even gain more traffic. Highly recommend that. And another thing you can do actually is with the newsletters is build your own email list. And once you build your own email list, you can then be able to go ahead and start promoting your products to these people. You can start sending them referrals, affiliate marketing, all these things. So once you build your own email list, you will be able to actually roll in the door, as I will say. But it depends. If you have an email list of 10 people, that probably won't help. But if you have an email list of 1,000 people, imagine what would happen if you launched an application that's geared towards that community, right? Podcasts. Podcasts are the same thing as newsletters. I would highly recommend you show up on podcasts and be a guest on podcasts, because not only does this improve your SEO, as I said before, but it also improves your credibility. It also shows that you know what you're talking about and that you actually have deep knowledge of the industry. So for example, if I was selling my medical application for seniors and I was pitching to doctors, pitching to pharmacies, they are going to go and check and see what I'm about. And once they start Googling it, and they will be able to see, hey, this guy has been on podcasts. This guy has been on Oprah Winfrey, for example. Just an example. This guy has been on Crunchbase, TechCrunch podcast, all these things. And say, hey, this guy is legit. Let's give him a chance. So podcast it might seem like a time waster, but it's actually a huge value, because not only is it going to go on YouTube, it's going to go on Apple, it's going to go on Spotify, and people already have, they already have those audiences. And when you show up as a guest to them on their podcast, they'll blast you to all their audiences as well. And guess what? Most podcast users also have an email list that they can send you to. So I would highly recommend you do a list of 10 to 100 podcast shows that you would like to be on, and just start pitching them. Be like, hey guys, I'm working on this and I would love your feedback. I would love to be on your show. Let's talk about how the recession is going to affect the seniors and how they're going to be able to take their medication and all those things. Boom. You don't even have to talk about your product. You just have to show up there and talk about, something that's sort of related to your product, but not really. But again, the interviewer is going to ask you, hey, what do you do? How do you do it? And that's when you can start pitching him or her your idea. I talked about this already. Build an email list. Once you have an email list of 1,000 people, who we call 1,000 true fans, you can actually be able to sell anything, right? And after you have 1,000 true fans, say they're paying you $10 a month, you can actually then go to investors and say, hey, look, I have 1,000 people. I just need a little bit more money to be able to get to the next level, which is going to be, more staff, more marketing, so on and so forth. Lead generation. I know a lot of people are scared of lead gen. I talked to a guy, was it last week or the week before? I talked to him and he built a really good product in the contract space. And when it comes to the contract space, it's very, very hard for you to manage, those contracts. Oh, oh, yeah, so it's very, very hard for you to manage your contracts, jobs, they call them. But what this guy did, I was really proud of him actually. What he did is that he actually built this product according to his needs. And it was like, wow, this is really cool. This is really cool because you've solved your own problem. But now he didn't have any more capital for marketing. And I told him, I'm like, dude, you don't need capital for marketing. You can do lead generation. You can go out and do some cold emails. You can go out and do some phone calls. You can go out there and just start messaging the right people on LinkedIn, and you can start doing some demos. He's like, oh yeah, you're right. That's a really good idea. He was thinking, oh, I have to go on Facebook. I have to do ads. I have to go on Google and do Google ads. And I said, no, when you're starting out, that's wasting money. You just have to pick up LinkedIn and message a couple of SEO, CEOs or whoever you're targeting and get them to come in and start a conversation like, hey, I built this for my company. It really helped me a lot to save time, save money, and make more money. Do you think this is something that you would be able to use as well? And lead gen is awesome when it comes to this. Cold email, LinkedIn, phone calls, highly, highly recommend that. If you don't know how to do that, again, you can probably, we can have a phone call with you. We can have a conversation. We can figure out how we can help you with that. Raise prices. Same guy I talked to last time was charging, I think it was $10 for his product. And I said, dude, you can't do that because the industry you're in, if you're charging $10, they won't take you serious because other people are charging way more money than you, you know. This won't fly. It's like going to a lawyer and saying, hey, lawyer, I have an application that will save you time and will save you money. And it even might help you make more money, but I'm only going to charge you $10. The lawyer is going to look at you, he's going to say, are you serious? This is nonsense. This is not a serious product, right? Because again, lawyers want to see something substantial. They want to see something that you're serious. So you have to make sure that those prices are according to industry standard, or even make them even higher so that people will be like, hey, wait a minute, why is this person charging way more money than than the other guys? What's going on here? And then everybody's going to start talking about you. And then before you know it, you will be able to get more people subscribing. And actually raising money is a good thing because it will give you more more capital to be able to do the marketing thing that you wanted to do. Does that make sense so far? Somebody in the give me a thumbs up or something in the chat here. Awesome. I see 2 thumbs up there. That's really good. Awesome. So those are the 14 tactics. But guess what? We can't stop there. I'm not gonna let you guys go without me giving you more value. I want to over deliver on this because 14 tactics, you may be like, nah, that's good and dandy, but I wish there was more. Guess what? There is more. All right. And here is Another one, 15 webinars. Same thing we're doing here. Webinars. You can do webinars for your audience as well. Get them into their funnel, and then be able to bring them back in through webinars. People love webinars. They like demos. So if you can do that, do it. If you don't know how to organize it, let me know. 16, content is king. If you're not putting out content and you have a startup, you are losing. I'm just going to say that one more time. If you're not putting out content, you are losing, because nowadays content is king. So what do I mean by content? Blogging, videos, podcasts, reels. They call them reels or shorts on YouTube. Putting out content is very, very, very helpful. I know some companies who have gone viral on TikTok, and when they go viral, guess what happens to their revenue? Also goes up, because there are a lot more people are discovering them through content. And if you don't have a content strategy, I would highly, highly recommend that you put that together. 17, fire up your social media game, right? And when it comes to social media, you have to think about, where is your audience? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Facebook? Or are they on Twitter? Or are they on Clubhouse? Where are they? And then go there and put as much content as possible, because once you do that, you'll then be able to be visible. You'll be talking about their pain points. You'll also be talking about, how you're solving those pain points and how your product is best to solve those pain points, right? So who's excited? Who is excited for their startup and crush it without a budget? I really want you guys to go crush it without a budget, marketing budget, and I want you to go win out there. And before I let you go, I would like you to think about, our free customized cheat sheet. I would like you to build your own profitable cheat sheet. I would like you to have a meeting with us so that we can come up with a customized plan. Like, I've rambled a whole lot of things. Like, that was 17 things we just went through. I could keep going. So many ideas out there. But again, there's so much out there that I would like you to be able to come in and say, hey, let's work together. Let's figure out a way to blow up my startup, right? And if you want to do that, I'm going to put a link in the chat where you can book a meeting with us. And it's not an obligation or anything. I want you to be able to come in and say, hey, let's work together. Let's figure out how we can get this thing done here, and give me a customized plan. So the customized plan is going to be tailored towards your portfolio, your company, and you won't be able to go away feeling like, oh, this is not going to work, blah, blah, blah. We will show you all the tactics that you need to have. And the other thing, actually, if you are on here and you want to be able to work with affiliates, and you actually are able to do that, we want to invite you. We recently signed a partnership with one of our partners, and we are giving away a whole bunch of discounts on our affiliate marketing product, which enables you to track affiliate codes, all the affiliate links, and all the affiliates that are working for you, so that you can be able to not only get other people promoting your product, but they'll also be able to get a cut, right? And that's something that we recently added into our arsenal there. And we want people to be able to start using it and be able to win, because guess what? Affiliate marketing works. I'm not sure if you know the story about ClickFunnels, but ClickFunnels is um, basically a software that helps people build websites. And the way they grew up so fast, the way they blew up and scaled so fast was through affiliate marketing. So anytime you would sign somebody up, you will get 40% reoccurring revenue until they left that company. So that was free money for the affiliates, which was really cool. And in the end, they now, I think now they're $1 billion company actually. All that through affiliate marketing. So imagine what affiliate marketing can do for you. If you do want information on that, please book a meeting and let's put together a game plan for you. Well, that's my time, everybody. I would like to pause here and take any question and answers. And if you do want to stay in touch, that's my email, bdiacri@dfysas.com. And you can also check us out at dfysas.com.
Well, thanks, Diacri, for your